This is Dustforce, an indie title that has one of the greatest soundtracks of anything I have ever played. For its entire runtime, this game's soundtrack doesn't present a single skippable track. Each one of the songs produced by artist Lifeformed is a tune I can listen to on repeat without ever growing tired. Dustforce has been out for almost a year now, and the soundtrack to it is still one of my most consistently played albums. My goal for this is not just to gush about the brilliance of this soundtrack, but realistically, given the opportunity, I could fanboy all over it for a length of time longer than the album itself. Instead, I want to explain why the soundtrack to this game works so well, and I want to explain how this collection of songs affects the game as an entire experience. In my opinion, this soundtrack turns an already good game into a fantastic one, and if this helps more people come to discover the music, that certainly wouldn't be bad either. For those in the dark, here's a brief rundown of what this game is about. You play as one of 4 selectable janitors working through a multi-section mansion, cleaning up dust, leaves, and other type of debris. The mansion is split up into 4 areas, each with a different theme attached. Those 4 areas are further divided up into levels with varying degrees of difficulty. Getting high scores on levels gives the player keys, which are used to unlock the harder levels, and getting high scores on those harder levels gives more keys, and repeat that once more to reach the highest difficulty of level. These are differentiated by color blocked doors. Dustforce starts out easy enough, but as you progress, the difficulty curve ramps up at a breakneck pace. Your patience and determination will be tested over and over again, leading to a countless number of restarts and deaths. The name I've heard used for this genre of game is precision platformer, and that does a pretty good job of describing it. Think Super Meat Boy, but with a bit more style. To acquire keys the fastest, perfect scores are needed, which is achieved by both gathering up all the dust and not breaking a combo. These conditions are noted by completion and finesse. Dustforce demands perfection, and later on in the game it is almost mandatory to replay a level repeatedly to try and get the best score possible. For an added bit of competition, your completion time is also listed, so you're constantly trying to best your friend's score. The strive for perfection and repetition required can lead to a frustration and fatigue, but the game has a wonderful way of dealing with this. When talking about the soundtrack to Dustforce, one of the most commonly repeated adjectives I use is soothing. The trance-like melodies and slow beats presented by this set creates a sensation of calm and cool, feelings that are essential to the playstyle of the game. The compositions of Lifeformed combine subdued and wistful melodies with hard-hitting and encouraging beats. The feel throughout the soundtrack remains consistent, but the tracks differentiate themselves enough for each of the 4 worlds playable in the game. Even the quiet piano melodies fit in nicely, breaking up the electronic with compositions more minimalistic. The music works to supplement the game's established style, complementing the fluid and fast-paced platforming with its chill atmosphere. The developers must have known the calming effects of the music, because it almost seems like they tailored the game to it. I don't think anyone would argue Dustforce can be an incredibly frustrating game. However, it's the soundtrack that steps up to take the edge off and alleviate the stress that comes from the frustrating level repeats. One intelligent design decision made by the developers is after dying or restarting a level, the music continues to play, uninterrupted. The music track starts when the level is first selected and will continue playing until the player completes and exits the level or just leaves out of frustration. This means no matter if it's the first replay or the 50th, the track will continue to play in an uninterrupted loop, creating a seamless theme that doesn't overstay its welcome. Because the music doesn't stop in between replays, it makes the player feel like this is something that is supposed to happen, which gives encouragement. Because if you had to hear the same song repeated over and over again every time you hear a mistake, you probably wouldn't want to continue. Because of the game's fluid controls and level design, when you perform well, there's a sense of cool you get with what you're doing. You feel good when you make skilled jumps and keep momentum, and the platforming can almost feel like a choreographed performance. The music selections also reinforce this, and I highly recommend playing this game loud. It adds so much to the gameplay and creates a most hypnotic effect. The earlier, easier levels bring this feeling quickly, so you immediately get a sense of what doing well is supposed to feel like. Later on, when things get stupid hard, part of your drive for performing well is to once again re-establish that feeling of cool. While sweeping through, desperately trying to hold on to a combo, there really doesn't seem to be much motivation to explore in this game, which is unfortunate because there are a cool few little Easter eggs to be found. One in particular that has always stuck with me is this lone piano hidden in an out-of-the-way cave. Upon finding it, the music of the level immediately switches to this beautiful arrangement. I loved this little touch, and it felt like I had to show it here. Nice one, developers. Now, I apologize if my constant gushing has grown tired by this point, but I honestly stand by every word I say. I can't talk enough about how cool this game is. And full price on Steam is like $10, $13 if you go for the soundtrack bundle. I promise you, it's worth every dollar, and so much more. I have provided links to the appropriate creative outlets below, and I hope if you like what you've heard, you'll consider throwing these guys some money. I certainly haven't regretted it. And I would also like to ask for feedback on this. As you can tell, I'm pretty new to YouTube, and I would like some opinions. Likes or dislikes are fine enough. Thank you so much for watching, and maybe see you next time. If you like this, I will make more. If not, I might anyways, so who knows.